welcome back to the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Sam Menzie, and we have a great show for you today. First topic we'll be covering is going over the game from yesterday, going into versus the American League, action in the National League. After that, we'll be talking about the big free agents that signed this offseason and just the updates on them, how they're doing on their new teams they signed with, or some of them re-signed as well, so just talking about how they're overall doing. And lastly, we're talking about some general injury updates around the league. There were a few high-profile guys that had significant injury updates this week and yesterday as well, so I just wanted to go over that. Now, before we do that, though, and before we get into the show, I'd like to ask you to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that your question does get read in the air, please use the link, gsmcpodcast.net. Really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. And let's get straight into the show today. All right, so first topic is, of course, what we usually do here, which is going over the American League games of yesterday and just the action, recapping it. Usually we do American League and the National League, so yeah, just wanted to get into that and talk about it. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So the first game we have from yesterday is going to be Tigers and Rangers, two teams that have T's in their name, Texas and Tigers. So let's start off with that. In the bottom of the third, Zach McKinstry would open up the scoring for the game with a RBI single to score Riley Green to make a 1-0 Detroit in the bottom of the third. Top of the fifth, Ezekiel Duran with an RBI single to score Josh Smith to tie up the game in the top of the fifth for the Rangers. Marcus Semien would also hit an RBI single to make it 2-1 Texas to give them the lead in the top of the fifth. But they would not do anything else the rest of the game, as Kerry Carpenter and the Tigers with an RBI double to score Zach McKinstry to tie up the game 2-2 in the sixth. Then in the eighth, Gio Urshela would hit an RBI single to make it 3-2. And a wild pitch by Jacob Latz would score Matt Vierling in the bottom of the eighth to make it 4-2 Detroit, where they end up winning the game at home 4-2. So a nice win by the Tigers to beat the defending champs, now 3 games above 500, having a really solid season. I expect them to be really good. I think a lot of people did as well, so good for them that they are finally performing. The Rangers had John Gray in the mound, who was pretty decent, actually. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. A really strong start there. Only 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts over 6 innings to this pretty good Tigers offense, I think. Tigers fans will take that any day of the week, so just a really nice start for him. For the Tigers, they had Casey Mize on the mound, who went 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, and 6 strikeouts, 4.11 ERA in the season. But if he keeps pitching like this, I don't think it should stay it like that for that long. So, yeah, a really, really great start for him. And, just a good pitching matchup overall, and a good win by this Tigers team, I think. Just a nice job beating this good Rangers team, defending world champions, of course. Next game we have is Orioles-Twins. Bottom of the second, James McCann would open up the scoring for the Orioles, hitting an RBI double to make it 1-0 Baltimore. Then Gunnar Henderson in the same inning, the bottom of the second, would hit a 2-run home run, his 5th of the season, to score McCann to make it 3-0. Then Colton Cowser in the bottom of the third would hit an RBI grounder to make it 4-0. Jordan Westerberg would hit a 2-run home run to make it 6-0. And then Gunnar Henderson would hit an RBI single to make it 7-0. So 7-0 Baltimore in the bottom of the third, just like that. Byron Buxton would get some runs on the board, would get a run on the board finally for the Twins, hitting an RBI triple to score Alex Kirilloff in the top of the fourth, making it 7-1. But the Orioles would answer right back with a Colton Cowser RBI single to score Anthony Santander and make it 8-1. And then in the top of the sixth, Alex Kirilloff would hit an RBI single to make it 8-2 Baltimore to score Ryan Jeffers. Then in the bottom of the sixth, Anthony Santander would hit an RBI single to make it 9-2 Baltimore. And then Ryan O'Hearn would hit his 4th home run of the year and make it 11-2. Jose Miranda would get one final run left on the board for the Twins with an RBI single to make it 11-3, but it would just merely be stat padding at that point, as the Orioles would end up defeating the Twins 11-3. The Twins had on the mound Chris Paddock, who was not good at all. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 12 hits, 9 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, 2 home runs, 8.36 ERA in the season. Now, when you're asking Paddock to fill in for the guys you lost, like Sonny Gray, I don't think that this is the start you want from him. I think he's going to be a big part of their rotation this year, and you do not want him performing like this. So, yeah, not a positive here if you are a Twins fan, and you just simply need Paddock to perform better. For the Orioles, they had Grayson Rodriguez, who was really, really good. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. just a great start by him. Again, controlling those walks. 3 walks, I think, is really solid for 6 innings, and that's really what he's had problems with. I think his stuff is pretty great. Just the control has really been what he's needed to work on, and so far it's come in handy. Just right now, I mean, it's getting pretty late early for the Twins right now. I understand, they've only played 16 games, but they're 6-10. The Guardians have been really hot. The Tigers have been really hot. And the Twins are just injured all around the team right now, and only 6-10 have really not been performing to the standard that anyone expected them to. They need to pick it up soon, really, really soon. So Twins are definitely a team I'm watching as the next few weeks and months go by, and just to see how they do perform. So yeah, they are a team I'm going to keep very close eyes on. Next game we have on the agenda here is going to be Rays and Angels. Top of the 4th, Mickey Moniak would hit a 2-run home run to make it 2-0 LA in the top 4. Then Logan O'Hoppe would also hit a home run in that inning, making it 3-0 LA. Bottom of the 4th, Harold Ramirez would hit an RBI ground out to make it 3-1 LA. And then there would be no more scoring until the bottom of the 9th, where Jose Caballero would tie up the game 3-3 with an RBI triple, scoring Harold Ramirez and Ahmed Rosario. So a great job by this Rays offense to come back, and they hadn't had a run in 5 innings, but they found a way to get 1 on the board, get 2 on the board actually, and tie up this game against the Angels, who were winning the entire game. Then on the top of the 10th, a wild pitch by Pete Fairbanks would score Aaron Hicks to make it 4-3 LA, but the Rays would answer right back as Yandy Diaz would reach on a fielding error by Jose Cisnero to score Jose Siri and move Yandy to second. Sorry for the sniffling. In the top of the 11th, Taylor Ward would hit a sacrifice fly to Jose Siri to score Joe Adell to make it 5-4 LA. Then in the bottom of the 11th, Harold Ramirez would ground into a double play. Zach Neto to Luis Rengifo to Nolan Chanua, but Richie Palacios would score. So it would tie the game 5-5, even though it was a double play. So nice job there. Zach Neto would hit a RBI single in the top of the 13th to make it 6-5. And again, the Rays would answer right back in the bottom of the 13th now. I mean, what a game this was. Richie Palacios hit an RBI double to score Rene Pinto to make it 6-6. And finally, the big blow would come to the Angels' hopes as Ahmed Rosario would hit a walk-off single to score Richie Palacios to make it 7-6 Tampa and end up winning this game for them. I mean, just a really great job by this Rays team to keep fighting back over and over again and win this game. They haven't gone off to the start they wanted, but at 10-8 now, I still think they're a really solid team, and I think Ahmed's been a really solid pickup so far, and I'm really interested to watch this team. But yeah, just a great job by them to keep fighting back over and over again, and finally end up winning this game, just out of sheer will and force. Next game we have here is a matchup of 2 AL East teams, the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Top of the 2nd, Jose Trevino would open up the scoring with an RBI single to score Giancarlo Stanton to make it 1-0 Yankees. Then in the bottom of the 3rd, Justin Turner would answer back with a sacrifice fly to score Dalton Varsho to tie up the game at 1. Bottom of the 4th, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. would hit an RBI single to make it 3-1 Toronto. And then Isaiah Kiner-Falefa in the bottom of the 6th would steal second base at having Ernie Clement score after a miscatch error by Gleyber Torres. Bo Bichette in the same inning would hit an RBI single to make it 5-1 Toronto. Top of the 7th, Trevino would answer back for the Yankees just a little bit with an RBI grounder to make it 5-2. Then Oswaldo Cabrera would hit a sacrifice fly to make it 5-3. In the top of the 9th, Jose Trevino would keep single-handedly fighting for the Yankees, hitting an RBI ground out to score Gleyber Torres to make it 5-4 Toronto. But it would be 2 outs, and the Yankees would not end up doing anything after that, and they would end up losing 5-4 to Toronto. So after starting off really, really hot, the Yankees have come back down to earth, I think just a little bit. 12-6 still, but they've lost a few games now. Not in a row, but just haven't had the best stretch. So, yeah. So, good job for the Yankees are coming back down to earth a little bit, but good job by the Blue Jays to beat them and continue winning. For the Yankees, they had Carlos Rodon on the mound, who went 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Just an ass start. I mean, it wasn't really great, but it wasn't horrible anyways, so you do definitely want more out of that. For the Blue Jays, they had Yusei Kikuchi on the mound, who went 6 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 9 strikeouts. A really, really strong start for him. And not just here, but a really strong start to the season as well. He's been really, really solid, a big piece of this great Blue Jays rotation, and yeah, just been really, really good so far. So good for him, and you could say he's finally living up to that potential we thought he had back when he was overseas playing ball. Next game we have is Guardians and Red Sox. In the top of the second, Will Brennan would open up the scoring with an RBI double to score Ramon Laureano. Then Gabriel Arias would hit an RBI double to make it 2-0 Cleveland. Bottom of the fourth, Emmanuel Valdez would hit a 2-run home run to make it 2-1. But Tyler Freeman answered right back for the Guardians to make it 3-1 with his second home run of the year, a solo shot. Jose Ramirez in the same inning would hit a sacrifice fly to score Steven Kwan. Then Josh Naylor would hit an RBI single to score Andres Jimenez. Bottom of the sixth, Tristan Casas would get the Red Sox back within striking distance with his fifth home run of the year, making it 5-2. Then Connor Wong would get them within a run to make it 5-4, with his second home run of the year scoring Wilyer Abreu. Then Rafael Devers would come in absolutely clutch in the bottom of the sixth, a RBI double to score Cedeno Rafael and Jared Duran to make it 6-5 Boston. So a really great job by them to come back against this Guardians team and not give up. Top of the ninth, though, Andres Jimenez would tie up the game for the Guardians, hitting an RBI single to make it 6-6. Then in the top of the 10th, Gabriel Arias would hit an RBI single to score Brian Roquicchio to make it 7-6 Cleveland. But Connor Wong would answer back for the Red Sox, hitting a sacrifice fly to make it 7-7. This game would just keep going on and keep having so many lead switches, as in the top of the 11th, the Guardians would finally end it with a RBI single by Jose Ramirez and a Estevan Florial 2 RBI single to make it 10-7. The Red Sox would not come back after that. They would be too tired and eventually give in to the Guardians, as they would end up winning this very important game 10-7. Guardians had on the mound Tanner Bybee, who went 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Solid start to the season for him. Start to this game for him, not to the season, sorry. For Boston, they had Garrett Whitlock on the mound, who had 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and a strikeout, having an ERA under 2 now to start the season. So a really strong start by him, and just a really strong start for both these teams, both the Guardians and the Red Sox. So, yeah, definitely exciting if you are a fan of one of those teams. The last game we have here on the agenda is Mariners and Reds in an interleague matchup. Bottom of the fourth, Jonathan Clase would hit an RBI double to make it 1-0 Seattle in the bottom 4. Top of the fifth, Stuart Fairchild would hit an RBI groundout to make it 1-1, scoring Jake Fraley. Bottom of the fifth now, we would have Mitch Garver, got the Mitches on the Mariners confused, would walk with the bases loaded to make it 2-1 Seattle. Then in the bottom of the sixth, the other Mitch, the one I said before, would hit an RBI single to make it 3-1 Seattle, and that is where the score would end up staying. So a nice win by the Mariners to win 3-1 against this young, good Reds team. For the Reds, they had Hunter Green on the mound, who was okay, 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Definitely want to see him go deeper into a game, though, but still solid stats. For the Mariners, they had Logan Gilbert, who was really, really great. 6 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, an earned run, only 1 walk and 6 strikeouts, 2.33 ERA in the season now. The Mariners have had some guys underperforming so far to start the season, but having a guy like that in your rotation who's performing up to the level we all know he can be at, I think is a really, really great thing and just a very big positive for the Mariners right now. So, yeah. All right, so that was the end of our first segment here, talking about the AL games of yesterday and just the action that went along with that. We'll be going to our second segment, which is talking about the National League games. So, yeah, just the games and the baseball action that happened yesterday. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that. But first, we'll see you after the break. So, thank you so much, and bye.